of the LSMCE leadership team. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Los Dos Midwest Center of Excellence. Guardians of Honor is the team member who's responsible for building the web-based LSAMP digital library. So we've been working with the National Science Foundation for over 10 years, including the LSAMP program. So we're really excited about the product that we're developing, and I'm excited to show it to you today. So first, I'm going to give you an overview of the digital library project. I'll highlight the accomplishments and the next steps for that project. And then I'll demonstrate the web-based LSAMP impact report viewing application, which I'm sure is why you're logging on today. That's what we were just demoing with John. Thank you, John, for helping me. So we're going to be pulling up a web browser and clicking around for you all. You'll have links to both the IRVA as well as the digital library website that's housed on the lsmce.org site. And then I'll open up for questions and answers. And I guess quickly, Katie and Nessa, if you could just tell me if you're a current LSAMP grantee, if you're a partner, if you are kind of what your affiliation is. That way I can make sure that this presentation is best for you. Okay, great. Hi, Katie. Okay, great. Hi, Nessa. We are local. I'm in the DC area. Okay, so the LSAMP Digital Library, this project was started in March of 2013. We are funded under a grant to Chicago State University, Indiana University, IUPUI, Argonne National Laboratory, and I apologize if I forgot any of the other partners involved. So that is the LSMCE leadership team, and we're funded under National Science Foundation grant through the HRD division. This project is being completed in a phased approach. So phase 1 is currently complete. That's where we assess all of the historical program information and developed a portable DVD of the IRVA. We're currently in phase 2 where we're designing the digital library. And I think we have Nessa and Katie. You may have been in some of our sessions at LSMCE conferences where we've solicited feedback from the community so we can understand more about what the LSAMP community is looking for, and then also what the prospective partner institutions that LSMCE has been conducting outreach to, what they are interested in seeing in the digital library. So that has all been put together and is being integrated into the design phase 2. In phase 3, we are going to actually launch the web-based digital library and make all of the LSAMP historical records publicly available and accessible online to the public. So as both of you two probably know, the LSAMP program was started in the early 1990s. Alliances have amassed an enormous wealth of intellectual capital on what works in preparing underrepresented minority students in undergraduate programs for careers in STEM fields. But not all of this information is currently available across the grantee community and to the public. So, what this project is aiming to do is to get that intellectual capital out into the public, to make it more accessible, and to make sure that non-LSAMP partner institutions are also able to use that information to improve the successful programs and projects that they have in place to attract and retain high quality underrepresented minority students in STEM fields. So just a quick overview of the project timeline, what we've done and where we are. We started with an initial needs assessment both of the historical records. What are they? How many are there? What do they look like? Are they paper files? Are they DVDs? Are they videos? Are they VHSs? And then also, what is the community looking for in a digital library? How robust does it need to be, within certain budget restrictions? And then what is available? What does the LSAMP community have available? What can they contribute to this in the long term from a sustainability perspective? And so during that process, we were able to capture all of the impact reports that were completed to date from all of the alliances. And we organized them into a clickable map application, which is the impact report viewer application we'll be demoing later. And we were able to get that onto a CD because we wanted to make sure that not only was it accessible online, but also to different people who needed this information that either had limited connectivity or different web browsing challenges. So the first step was to get it onto a CD so that everybody could see it. And we disseminated that application, and now we've made that available in HTML format so that everyone can view it on their web browser. During phase 2, which is the actual development phase, we have worked with different LSMCE leadership team members as well as program leadership to really organize and articulate what the needs mean for the digital library that were identified in phase 1. We've inventoried, digitized, and cataloged over 1,200 discrete files that were identified in phase 1. All of those files have an enormous amount of metadata associated with them. There are best practice flags, there are data flags. Each of the files is coded according to the LSAMP model. So once these files are available online, they're going to be really easy and convenient to navigate through based upon what the LSAMP community has already come to know as kind of their model for best practices, which is also kind of being articulated to the LSMCE partners, which we're conducting outreach to now. So that is where we are, and we are getting ready to provide our final recommendations to LSMCE regarding the phase 3 approach. So just to kind of recap and summarize, in phase 1, we identified the historical records, we developed the pilot application, we conducted a needs assessment, and in phase 2, we have identified key collection characteristics of all of those historical records, developed the catalog, metadata, and search features for the digital library, and finalized recommendations for the LSAMP digital library. So LSMCE as an entity in itself has 3 primary objectives, and the LSAMP digital library is an integral piece to supporting each of those objectives. So the first objective is for LSMCE to take a leadership role in articulating the national critical need for broadening minority participation and success in STEM undergraduate programs. In order to clearly articulate this need to the public, it's really critical that LSMCE and the alliances have this information and the data readily available to make a compelling case of what they know is a national critical need. And then also not only to identify, what the need is, but also to be able to share the solutions that they've identified over, since the early 1990s about what works for broadening participation in undergraduate programs. The second objective is for LSMCE to develop an information hub that provides consistent access to online resources and sustained opportunities to showcase best practices in STEM teaching and learning, and to support underrepresented minority students' persistence and engagement through research and internship experience. So the LSAMP Digital Library is going to serve as that online repository. It's going to showcase best practices that grantees, partners, and stakeholders can leverage to increase the success of their programs, and it's going to organize those best practices according to the LSAMP model. So it's going to be really easy for people to find information related to specific parts of their program that they're either looking to scale up or to start new. If it's an LSMC partner institution, maybe it's a mentorship program, you'll easily be able to go on and search just mentorship program specific files and see what other people have been doing. Maybe let's say that you're in California, maybe you want to look at what other LSAMP alliances are doing that have a similar environment to California. Maybe you'll look at New York, for instance. And if you're in South Dakota, maybe you'll want to look at what other rural alliances are doing. So for Objective 3, LSMC set out to establish a cyber portal to disseminate information and create networks of support for non-LSAMP students on partner campuses in the Midwest. A non-LSAMP campus is, it has a bunch of very specific characteristics, but the basics is that it's a campus that has a need for LSAMP-like programming, but does not currently have LSAMP grant funding. And the idea is to extend the knowledge and the best practices of what the LSAMP community has learned to those campuses. So the LSAMP Digital Library is going to be a really key mechanism by which LSMCE is able to bestow this knowledge, upon those campuses, and also allow those campuses to log on and have self-directed, control over what specific parts of the LSAMP model they're most interested in learning about. And it's also going to have a navigation and search features, just like Google. So you'll be able to, add it, type in a keyword, and then you'll be able to filter it by different metadata. So maybe you're looking for mentor-related documents that have data in them, or mentor-related documents that are unidentified best practices. All of those features are going to be available. It's going to make it really easy for the non-LSAMP partner institutions to navigate the information of the LSAMP community. So now to the fun part. The LSAMP Impact Report viewing application is now available online. I think that it's important to note that also, although a lot of this information that we just talked about is not on the Impact Report viewer application, the LSAMP Digital Library itself is going to house those files, and those will be made available in Phase 3. So the Impact Report viewing application is not the digital library. It is just a pilot application displaying the impact reports from the alliances. So when you first log on to the application, you're going to come to an introductory title screen. And then it's going to take you to a letter from presidents of LSAMP institutions showing support for the program, as well as a few other seminal publications. You can scroll up and down here on the right. And in a minute, it's going to provide us the option to skip through this introduction. But all of these publications, I'll show you in a minute, are also available once you get to the next screen, down here at publications. I'm going to check in with everyone and make sure that we can, oh, there's John. Thank you, John. Okay, so here are the publications which are available on the introductory screen. There's a letter from presidents of LSAMP institutions. You can save this, you can email it, you can search throughout the document if it's had OCR in it. And then we always need to we always need to select back to navigate back to where we were. We can't use this feature up here. So we have boosting minorities in science and editorial, and all of these other publications. Click on the LSAMP model. So then we have our map right here, which is all clickable. We can navigate by alliance. We can navigate by institution. So let's say I'm not familiar with the LSAMP program, but I went to the University of Maryland. I can go and find the institution of interest down here in the list, click on it, and find out what they're doing. You can view the publications, which I just showed you. Program impact data, which is great for disseminating to those who might be less familiar with the program and what you all have been doing over the past years. The program evaluation conducted by the Urban Institute. And then there's also a list of all of the alliances by state, if it's easier for some people to navigate in a list instead of a map. And each of these blue fields is a hyperlink and takes you right to that impact report. So then back to the map, so let's go to California. We can see that there are 2 alliances in California, University of California LSAMP and the California State University LSAMP. If we click on that link, it's going to take us into the California State University LSAMP impact report. Again, I can email this, I can save it, I can print it, I can search within the document. And here's the Washington, Baltimore, Hampton Roads LSAMP. Same thing. So this is the impact report viewing application, and let me get back into our presentation mode here. Yeah, so that is the impact report viewing application. I hope that both of you who are on the webinar right now are going to find it really a helpful link to share what you've been doing and also what your peers have been doing in the LSAMP program. And then here are the links both to the LSAMP Digital Library project webpage as well as the web-based impact report viewing application. Please note that the LSMCE website, that's where we're going to be posting updates to the project. If we're looking for input from any community members, it will be posted here. So please check back to the site frequently. And then my contact information is down below. If you have any ideas, if you want to provide feedback on anything, please feel free to email me. We're really excited to talk to everyone about what's going on. And then thank you. So I'm going to open up for some question and answers now. are very welcome. So that is a good question, Katie. Katie asked if schools are going to be required to upload data every year into this, or have they been, or have we been pulling from reports that have already been completed each fall? How the digital library is going to be sustained, and the peer review, and how documents are going to be triaged as they're added, is something that still needs to be completely hashed out. It is something that is being talked about, and it's something that the community will, of course, be involved in. But at this time, it's not a requirement. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Do you guys think that this is something that you're going to be able to use in, say, the next couple weeks? Do you think that you're going to be emailing this link out? Is it something that people who you work with or colleagues are going to be interested in seeing? Okay, great. Great. Yeah, so please, if you have time, once you share it with your directors or any of your peers, I'd love to hear people's feedback on what they think and how they're going to use it, and any enhancements that you may have, and how you feel about the navigation of the map versus the list format and things of that nature. Does anyone have any other questions? You are very welcome, John. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining today. And if you don't have any other questions, then I appreciate you logging on, and we look forward to hearing from everyone soon.